Welcome to the Hope for Today podcast. Today is day 26.
It's really good to be here.
So we've really arrived at a fascinating, and I think for many, a bit of a jarring pivot point in our journey through Exodus. I mean, for the last few weeks, it's just been nonstop, high-stakes drama. But today, the script it flips completely.
It certainly does. The thunder stops and the measuring tape comes out.
That is a perfect way to put it. We are looking at Exodus chapters 25 through 27, and frankly, if you're just reading through it, it can feel like a contractor's list of materials.
Yeah?
You know, measurements, fabrics, metals, architectural specs. I think for a lot of people, this is the part of the Bible where their eyes start to glaze over just a little bit.
Oh, I get that completely. It feels like we walked right off a movie set and onto a construction site. You're expecting more miracles, and instead you get instructions on how to, weave curtains. But if you just treat this as a manual for building a tent, you miss the profound shift that's happening.
So,
Well, this isn't really about architecture. It's about an address.
an address. What do you mean by that?
Well, just think about where God has been up until this moment. He's been out there.
A pillar of fire in the sky, a voice on a smoking mountain.
Exactly. Distant, terrifying even. He's been the God of the universe, totally unapproachable. Exodus 25, verse 8. God says, "Then have them make a sanctuary for me, and I will dwell among them."
Among them, that's a huge change in preposition.
The core of the entire book.
Yeah.
God doesn't just want to be the liberator who gets them out of Egypt. He wants to be the neighbor who lives right in the center of the camp.
He's moving from the mountaintop to the neighborhood.
That's it. So every detail we discussed today, every clasp, every curtain, it's actually a mechanism to make it safe for a holy God to live right next door to sinful people.
That frames this list of materials in a totally different light. It's not just a supply list. It's a strategy for intimacy. And speaking of materials, the way this project gets funded is so interesting. Usually, a king wants a palace. He just taxes the people.
Or seizes what he wants or uses slave labor.
Yeah.
We have to remember, these are people who just came out of Egypt. They spent generations building cities for Pharaoh with forced labor.
It's all they knew.
Right. But look at the invitation in Exodus 25, verse 2. God tells Moses to receive an offering from everyone whose heart prompts them to give.
So it's the anti-tax. It's completely voluntary.
It is. God's building his house on a foundation of freedom and generosity. If you don't want to give, you don't have to. There's zero coercion here.
And the list of materials is so diverse. You've got the heavy metals, gold, silver, bronze. But then you have these beautiful fabrics.
Blue, purple, scarlet yarn, fine linen.
It also mentions goat hair, ram skins dyed red, and durable leather. It sounds like a mix of high luxury and rugged camping gear.
That's a great description. It really is this sensory explosion. You have the hardness of the metals and onyx stones mixed with the softness of the linens and the roughness of animal skins.
It's like he's inviting every part of creation.
Exactly. Mineral, animal, vegetable, all brought together to host the Creator.
There is a phrase, though, that keeps repeating that I found really striking. God tells Moses to make everything exactly like the pattern shown to him on the mountain. Why so precise?
Because this isn't just a meeting hall. The text implies that what Moses sees on the mountain is a heavenly reality, the true throne room of God.
So the tabernacle on earth is like a scale model of heaven.
It's a shadow of a greater reality. And you just don't improvise when you're trying to replicate the throne of the universe. The precision ensures that the space is holy enough to host the divine presence.
Okay, so let's get into that blueprint. The text doesn't start with the walls or the roof. It starts with the furniture, specifically the centerpiece, the Ark of the Covenant.
The most famous box in history.
It really is. But physically, when you read the measurements, it's not actually that big, is it?
Not at all. It's a chest made of acacia wood, which is this gnarled, tough desert tree. And it's only about 2.5 cubits long.
So maybe 3.5 feet long?
Roughly, yeah.
That's surprisingly small. I feel like movies make it look massive.
Right, but this is portable. It's human-scaled, and while the wood is humble, the treatment isn't. It's overlaid with pure gold.
Inside and out.
Inside and out.
But why inside? Nobody sees the inside of a box.
God sees it. It
Really?
leads to total purity. Integrity isn't just about the surface that people see. It's about the hidden places. It's about the heart. And then you have this gold molding and the 4 gold rings for the poles.
The poles caught my attention. The text is so specific in verse 15. The poles are to remain in the rings of this ark. They are not to be removed.
That is such a crucial detail. Think about other ancient temples. You build a massive stone statue, you put it in a massive stone temple, and it stays there. It's static.
It's fixed.
But Yahweh, He is a god on the move.
So keeping the poles in means they never park God.
Precisely. It signifies a constant readiness. Even when the tabernacle is set up, the handles are sticking out. It reminds the people that they haven't captured God in a box. They are following a God who leads them.
What a powerful image. Now, what about the lid of this box, the atonement cover, or the mercy seat?
Right, the Hebrew word is kapare, which implies a covering or a wiping away. This is a slab of solid gold. And rising out of it are two cherubim, these angelic figures, hammered from the same piece,
And they're facing each other, looking down with their wings spread.
creating a space between them. Now, in so many ancient cultures, if you had two guardian figures like that, you'd have an idol sitting right there between them, a statue of the deity.
But here, the space is empty.
It's empty because no image can represent him. But God makes a promise. He says, there, above the cover and between the two cherubim, I will meet with you.
So this is it. This is the focal point.
This is where heaven touches earth. It's not just a gold lid. It's a throne of mercy, the place where sin will eventually be dealt with.
So moving out from that intensely holy center, we step into the main room, the holy place. And there are two other key pieces of furniture here. First, a table.
The table of showbread or the bread of the presence. Again, acacia wood and gold.
But why a table? I mean, God doesn't eat, so why set a table for him?
It's symbolic of communion and provision. In the ancient world, eating together was how you ratified a treaty. It showed friendship.
So having a table set with fresh bread before God at all times signifies that the relationship is alive.
Exactly. God provides, and the people are always present before him. It's like a perpetual meal shared between the king and his people.
And across from the table, we have the lighting, the lampstand, the menorah.
And this thing is an engineering masterpiece. It's not wood covered with gold. It's hammered out of a single talent of pure gold.
How much is that?
It's about 75 pounds of solid gold. Can you imagine the weight of that?
That is an incredibly heavy, expensive lamp, and it wasn't molded.
No, the text says hammered. That means incredible artistry, incredible effort. And the design itself is very organic. It's described with branches, buds, blossoms, almond flowers.
It sounds like a stylized tree.
That's exactly what it is. It's meant to recall the tree of life in Eden. Remember, humanity was exiled from the garden, away from God's presence. Now, God is setting up a new sanctuary, a new garden in the desert. The menorah brings the light and life of Eden back into the picture.
So we have the furniture, now we need the building to put it in. Chapter 26 describes the tabernacle structure, and this is where that contrast between inside and outside is so stark.
It really is. It's the ultimate example of don't judge a book by its cover. If you were an Israelite walking past this thing, what would you see?
Well, the text says the outer covering is durable leather binder. Some translations say badger skins. It's tough, weather-resistant, and probably not very pretty.
Right, dark and dusty. Then under that, ram skins dyed red, then goat hair. It's all heavy, functional, protective. It looks like a tent. It looks ordinary.
But if you're a priest and you walk inside,
It's a different universe. The innermost lining is fine twisted linen with blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, with cherubim woven right into the fabric.
so you look up, and instead of a dusty roof, you see a legion of angels.
You see glory. You see beauty. The walls are acacia frames on silver bases, held together by crossbars overlaid with gold. It's this fortress of beauty hidden inside a rough exterior.
There's something so profound about that. The glory is hidden. You have to enter in to really see it.
Absolutely. And inside this tent, there's a divider, the veil.
A thick curtain, same colors again, blue, purple, scarlet, with more cherubim.
And it hangs on gold hooks. Its function is absolutely critical. Verse 33 says, the curtain will separate the holy place from the most holy place.
So the table and the lampstand are on one side, but the ark, the throne itself, is behind that curtain.
It marks the boundary of safety. God is dwelling among them, yes, but his holiness is so raw, so powerful, that it requires a buffer. The veil protects the people from being consumed by the glory. It says, come near, but approach with reverence.
Okay, so we've done the inside. Let's step outside the tent entirely, into the open air of the courtyard. Chapter 27. The decor changes here.
It really does. We move from gold to bronze. Gold is the metal of God's immediate presence, glory, kingship. Bronze is the metal of the outer court judgment and sacrifice.
It's stronger, more heat resistant.
Exactly. And the first thing you encounter is the altar of burnt offering.
This is a large, bronze-covered box, square, with horns on the corners.
This is the engine room of the whole sacrificial system. This is where the fire is.
It's where the sin problem gets dealt with.
That's right. Before you can go into the tent to enjoy the light of the lampstand or the fellowship of the table, you have to deal with your guilt at the altar. The bronze absorbs the heat of the fire so the worshiper doesn't have to.
And just like everything else, it's portable. It has poles.
Yes, the forgiveness of God travels with them. He provides the means of atonement wherever they go.
This altar sits in a very defined courtyard. The text outlines a perimeter about 150 feet long by 75 feet wide.
Right, and it's enclosed by these linen curtains. This is important because it creates a clear distinction between inside and outside. You don't just wander into God's presence from any direction.
There's a boundary. Holiness requires definition.
But there is an entrance, a wide gate on the east side, marked by a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn.
The same colors as the inside.
It's a visual cue. It says, "This gate leads to the king."
So if we zoom out, you can really see a map of approach. You start outside, you enter the gate, you meet the bronze altar, that sacrifice. Then you enter the holy place, enlightenment, communion, and finally, through the veil, into the very presence of God.
It's a journey from judgment to mercy. It's God providing a structured, safe way for humans to come back home to him. It's incredibly orderly and incredibly gracious.
There is one last detail in chapter 27 that I don't want us to miss. It feels almost like a footnote at the end about oil.
Ah, yes. The fuel for the lampstand.
God commands the people to bring clear oil of pressed olives. And the instruction is that Aaron and his sons must keep the lamps burning from evening till morning.
It creates such a beautiful picture. The tabernacle has no windows. At night, in the desert, it would be pitch black. But inside the tent, the light never goes out.
It's like an overnight shift for the priests.
It is. It signifies that God's watchfulness never sleeps. But it also shows the human partnership. God provides the fire, but man must provide the oil and the discipline to trim the lamps. It represents the prayers and the attentiveness of the people.
And the text calls it a lasting ordinance. This wasn't just for the wilderness.
No, it's a generation-to-generation commitment. Just as the tabernacle started with a willing heart to give materials, it's sustained by a faithful heart to keep the light burning. It shows that a relationship with God requires consistency.
It's not just the big fireworks on the mountain. It's the nightly discipline of tending the light. That's a powerful connection. So when we look at these 3 chapters, what's the big takeaway for you? What's the real heart of all this architectural detail?
For me, it's the incredible initiative of God. You know, we often think of religion as man trying to build a ladder to reach God.
The Tower of Babel.
Right. But Exodus shows us God handing down the blueprints to reach us. He wants to be known. He wants to be near. He designs the aesthetic. He cares about the atmosphere. He's creating a space where the relationship can be restored.
And the barriers, like the veil, they aren't there to say, go away.
No, they're there to say, here is how you can survive being close to me. It's an act of grace.
It really changes how you view holiness. It's not about distance, it's about safe proximity. And I love that image of the plain exterior hiding the golden interior.
It's such a lesson for us. The world looks at the things of God, or even the people of God, and often sees something plain, maybe unimpressive. But those who are invited inside, those who participate in the relationship,
They see the gold. They see the reality of heaven.
and it all starts with that one invitation. Whoever has a willing heart. That's the key. God doesn't force his way into the camp. He asks them to build him a room. He waits for the willing offering.
From blueprints to a burning lamp, it really is a story of hope. God isn't staying on the mountaintop. He's moving into the neighborhood.
There I will meet with you. That is the promise that anchors all of this.
Well, we have the plans, we have the materials. Now we just need to see it built.
Indeed.
And that was it for day 26. Meet you on day 27 tomorrow.